Hey girls, this is my friend Dr. Kelly Herrington, and she works for ESMS, and she's a racetrack veterinarian, and there aren't a lot of females in this particular part of the industry. Okay, she's been doing this, how long have you been doing this?
I've been on the track for 5 years.
She's been on the racetrack for 5 years. She's my personal veterinarian. She works on racehorses and our quarter horses, our barrel horses at the house. So anyway, Dr. Herrington, this is Caitlin, this is Denham, and this is Chloe. So tell us a little bit about your life and your career and how you ended up here.
So I actually didn't grow up with horses. There were horses across the street from our house, and I'd ride my bike over there and pick grass and feed it to them, and I've always loved horses. I started taking riding lessons when I was about 11 or 12, and when I was 14, I was volunteering for a therapeutic riding program, and one of the riders, his father is a standard-bred racehorse trainer, you know, the trotters that pull the carts. And he came up to me and he said, "How would you like to get paid to work with racehorses?" And my first thought was, "You would pay me?"
Right.
So I worked all summer. I was 14 years old and worked cleaning stalls at the racetrack. And I've always known I wanted to be a vet. I just assumed cats and dogs, but I saw the racetrack vet come by and I was like, that's what I want to do. Like, I want his job. So I ended up saving up all my money that summer and buying a horse at the end of the summer. And ever since then, during spring break, summer break, Christmas break, you know, any break I had from school, I would shadow veterinarians. I wanted to learn as much as I could. I wanted as much exposure to the industry as I could. And it's actually helped me network a lot and meet a lot of people. I went to Kentucky. I shadowed some vets at the large farms in Lexington, Kentucky. I graduated vet school and I did an internship, and I met a trainer that her vet owns ESMS, and she made some phone calls, and that's how I got the job here at the track.
Was there ever a time where you got discouraged or you didn't know if you were going to be able to make it, or like was there a time when you're in the vet school that you thought, maybe I shouldn't have tried to pick this, and then you had to try to dig in and find a way to keep going, or has it always just been like where you needed to be?
No, I actually didn't get into vet school the first time I applied. It was the most heartbreaking thing ever to know your entire life you want to do something and you get denied. So I had applied out of state. I'm originally from Illinois, and I went to Oklahoma State for undergrad and applied to Oklahoma State for vet school and didn't get in. So since I was out of state, I worked for full-time for a year for a small animal vet, and I established residency, and I reapplied to vet school, and I got in the second time. And you'll hear a lot of people who are interested in becoming vets. People tell them, you know, you'll change your mind. It's a lot of schooling. It's 8 years of college, you know, after you graduate from high school. And lots of people along the way said, "Oh, you'll change your mind. You won't do it." But I'm not sure if it's stubbornness or determination. But I kept pushing, and I got to think I'm exactly where I want to be. This is my dream job.
That's outstanding. So, do you find that you barrel raced in the past, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you did a little high school rodeo stuff?
Mm-hmm. A little bit.
So do you find that to be, from your perspective, is there a lot of difference in the racehorses, the racehorse people, and the way that the racehorses are treated or cared for as opposed to and I don't mean negatively, I mean, are there a lot of differences between the two industries that you can see from your standpoint? Like when you go to work on barrel racing horses and when you go to work on racehorses, is it a very different life for those horses?
The biggest difference I can think of is a lot of times you're bringing in your personal barrel horse. It's not only your project, your pet. You know, it's your pet. You love your horse. I don't want to say that the race horses aren't loved. They're more of a business. It's more of a business. There's a lot of money involved. The owners aren't actually here. I don't meet a lot of the owners of these race horses. I deal with the trainers. So kind of like I would deal with Lance, and he has his owners elsewhere that I haven't even met.
Correct.
So that's the main difference, is there's not, you know, they're more like family members when you're around barrel horses, for the most part. I mean, it's not true 100% of the time, but versus the racetrack is a business.
So I'm going to ask you another difficult question. You know, part of this project and part of our program is about teaching and mentoring these young horse people to be moral and ethical horsewomen, ultimately, and kind horsemen. So tell us about how difficult that is because obviously I know in your situation, and they and their adult life will be faced with a situation where you're asked to do unethical things, and how difficult that is, and what that's like to handle that, and what it takes to stand on your own 2 feet and assert that.
And it's very difficult, especially if you want to succeed in your profession. You know, they're going to ask you to do the difficult things, but you have to know what's right and what's wrong, and you have to know deep down that you're doing the right thing for these horses, for the person that's on their back, because, you know, they're human beings too. The rider, if anything were to happen to that horse, the rider could potentially get injured too. So you have to learn when to say no and be okay with it, and know that you could risk getting fired, or they won't use you again, they'll find another vet, and that's fine. You know, I deal with that all the time, and I have no problem saying no. I have plenty of work. If they want me to do something that I'm not comfortable with, I'm not going to do it.
But ultimately, your business has grown. You've been a great asset to ESMS, and you've done that by standing up and by sticking to your ethics and your moral code. And it's okay.
Yes.
It's okay to be that person, even if you irritate somebody or somebody's not happy with you for a minute. Ultimately, you can still look at yourself when you brush your hair and know that you did the best that you could for everybody out there.
Yes.
Which is exactly what we want our girls to know.
Absolutely.
That they can do that. What do you like to do on your downtime when you're not here at the racetrack doing your work? What's your hobbies?
I actually have a ex-race horse that she's 4. Lance is trying to talk me into running her in a futurity, which I sold my barrel horse when I got into vet school in 2009. So I didn't ride for a long time, but that's been my new project, and it's brought so much joy to my life. I'm sure you girls understand.
So she's going through exactly the same thing that you guys are going through with her horse off the racetrack, and all the challenges that come with that, and whatever. So anyway, well, we appreciate you stopping and coming and talk to us. We just wanted to talk to you a little bit. I wanted to show the girls that I wanted to show them ladies they can look up to, and know that they're if you aspire to be a good, strong, honest, positive horseman, that there is a place for you in any place in the world. You can be whoever you want to be. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Girls? All right, we'll talk later then. Thank you.